Using Sid's airship to destroy Nelb Valley's blockage, the light warriors proceeded to Canaan. As thanks for returning him home, Sid recommended that they seek out King Argus to acquire a new airship. Exploring the town, they learned of a traveler named Desh, as well as a town of midgets in the southern forest. However, to access that village, they would need to shrink themselves using the mini magic, but the spell was sold to Desh, who had already left to the nearby mountain. In pursuit, the light warriors ascended to the summit, where they were snatched by the dragon Bahamut, and spirited away to his nest to feed his young. Hidden on the nest, they encountered Desh, together with whom they fled Bahamut as the adventure continues.
Alright, I forgot this Forest of Healing was here. I wouldn't have used the Phoenix Down if I had known about this, but I forgot that this existed. I came from the Forest of Midgets to the south. The town in the forest can only be found by midgets. Alright, so there's our hint. There's Desh in our party, but first we have to learn Mini with Azure. The journey will be safe if I'm with you guys. Let's go! There's a forest of midgets around here, but you'd have to be tiny yourself to find it. There's a forest of blah blah blah. Okay, so we know that there's a forest of midgets to the south, but we have to be tiny. That is what the mini spell is for. Shrink! But while we are like this, we are kind of defenseless. If we look at our stats, we can't do anything with weapons while in this state. And that is why we need capacity. Because we need to turn Gatai and Daryl into magic users for the time being. So, Black Wizard. Second Black Wizard, and I'm one short from a third Black Wizard. And a third Black Wizard would be ideal. So he's actually just gonna hold off for a second. Put everybody in the back row so they're safe. Because in this state, weapons don't matter at all. Armor still matters. Armor is still useful because it doesn't boost our defense at all, but it does still affect our evasiveness. Our evasion can still go up while we have armor, so we still want to have all of our best armor equipped. It's just having weapons equipped doesn't affect anything. In fact, I want to unequip that, because if I use basic attacks with a bow equipped, even when mini, it'll still cost arrows. And as soon as I've got one more capacity, I'll switch Gatai to a Black Wizard as well. I'd rather have 3 Black Wizards. He can become a Red Wizard and a White Wizard for cheaper, but I don't really need 2 White Wizards. And Black Wizard is just stronger than the Red Wizard when it comes to offensive magic, and that's what I'm going to be needing more. Because we're going to be like this for a while. Besides, if I need healing, I also have potions. And potions are still plenty strong this early on. But I need to be shrunken to find the town. Oh no, bees! Oh no, I forgot to give him magic! That's okay, these are just crappy bees, just do that. Defend, I don't think defending matters in this state, so fight. The most annoying thing is now it takes longer for my guys to physically walk into position to perform their commands, so being mini actually makes battles take longer, because it physically takes them longer to get into position to select commands or perform actions. Weakened them with arrow, they're disoriented, and as they're trying to regain their equilibrium while being flung in the air by the wind, Gaudia comes in with the bolt magic to finish them off. Kacha, 2 capacity, that's 1 more than I needed. Excellent. So now you can become another Black Wizard. And this part is also why I didn't want to go too crazy on spending my capacity, because I knew this was coming. Also, let's give some people some magic. All I have is blind and an extra cure spell, which I'm not going to be using. So for the time being, let's just give myself the cure spell. And let's save again, just for safety. And there's the town, Tozas. Ah, we're so tiny, now we can't use swords. We can't fight with anything but magic. With your tiny, your defense power is only 1. You'd better all fall back to the rear row. And you ought to use the power of the crystals. It'll be tough without about 3 black wizards. Yeah, even the game recommends 3 black wizards. Usually I don't. I feel like I usually do this with 2 black wizards, a white wizard, and a red wizard. But I just want 3 black wizards this time. We're the midgets. We're a content people. You're new around here, aren't you? Although red wizards do get more vitality for any level ups I gain in this state, but it's okay. Dr. Shelko knows a secret route to Myraluka Valley. Okay, and I guess Myraluka Valley is what I want. There's a tunnel which pierces through the Myranos Mountains. If you pass through it, you'll come into the Myraluka Valley where the Vikings live. Okay, so I want to get to Myraluka Valley, I guess, through the mountains to meet the Vikings. You can see the world using Midget Bread. Midget Bread possesses magical powers, the same power as the magic sight. I don't really need that right now, though. I'm just gonna sell these, make a little bit of inventory space. And yeah, I'm gonna sell the extra cure magic. Also the knife. Dr. Shelko's stomach is hurting terribly. No one can help him. He's the only doctor in the village. Ah, magic shop. Perfect. Alright. Yeah, we need some stuff. Alright, so we've got Daryl with Fire Sleep, Bolt Blind. And Gatai with Ice Sleep, Bolt Venom. Sure, let's go with that. Welcome to the inn. It costs twice as much as the previous town. It does the exact same thing, but because you're getting further, the inns have to cost more. They still have to be an inconsequential amount of money, but they need to increase. Okay, so let's go see Dr. Shelko in the one house we haven't visited yet. Here 2. Burning Staff. Cloth Armor. Mithril Ring. Okay, Mithril Ring is good. Let's put that on Gatai, because of the people who need a Mithril Ring still. He has the fewer hit points of the 2. And Cure 2 can go to Azure. Hooray, he has a level 3 spell, so he can use that 1 magic point he's got. Excellent. It's all coming together. Antidote, please. Okay. Antidote. I'm saved. It must have been something I ate, but I'm fine now. Why don't you try going down the stairs? They lead to a hidden road to Myraluka. Heard of the hidden road? And we can use that to cross the mountains, apparently to meet the Vikings. Thank you for helping me. Be careful. And that will hopefully get us closer to Argus Castle, King Argus, which is currently our ultimate goal. Then equip the staff for the burning staff. It's just an upgrade. Hello. Mithril. Mithril. Okay. We got some more stuff. Replace this staff with a mithril rod. And now we have a mithril ring for our last guy. And like I said, that's not visibly boosting our defense, but it does affect our evasiveness. So even though we're tiny, we still want to equip armor to have higher evasion. Hidden road. And we have to be tiny in here. If we try to use mini, it says can't change size. There's not enough room. And that's why we wanted to equip our party with magic. Oh no, leprechauns. Get them! Fire! You just kinda punch stuff. Oh wait, no. Burning Staff. This can be used to cast Fire 1. Ice. Not run. Why does that double click keep happening? Ah! Ice! Alright, we got him before we could escape. That's good. And that's this place. It's crazy to fight without magic as midgets. Kill them with black magic. Yes, I am aware, but Desh is here to give us hints. I like the party member thing. They give you these extra characters that can not only provide guidance, but also a bit of flavor text to just kind of what's going on. Now this time use fire, not run. Just wipe them out with our magic. Ice! Ugh. Burning staff. Whoosh. Fire. We're not hitting quite as hard as the last battle because there's more enemies we're targeting. But it's still enough. I feel like most of these battles we can get through just by doing that, just hitting them with all of our stuff. And this dungeon's not too bad. It's just this short tunnel through the mountains to get to the other side so we can reach where the Vikings are, apparently. I'd rather save arrow though, just in case of a bigger group of enemies. Using items won't give me as many skill points for leveling up my skill levels, but in a situation like this, I want to be at least a little conservative, especially since I don't have to spend those magic points to defeat these enemies. I'd rather save my arrow casts for larger groups of enemies, or just in case my other characters actually do start running low on magic points if this drags on. Pressing onward. Oh no, more guys. Ah, it's these ugly things. Fire, arrow, ice, fire. Just wipe them all out. Just get these things out of the way. These demon head things. And as we go, we're also getting some of our capacity back, so we'll be able to switch back when we need to. Level up, skill up, level up, level up. Gatai didn't get a level up because he's already behind. Ah, now we're getting crappy hit points because the Black Wizard has the worst vitality. Oh no! Alright, we made it out. I'm not even gonna bother because I know we're gonna need to be like this still. So I'm just gonna stay mini. That's also why I'm not gonna be wasting any capacity points switching back to my jobs, because I know we're going to be needing to be magic users still. Because the next dungeon is also mini. That was just kind of a sampling dungeon. But first we have the realm of the Vikings to explore. I'll just stay in bed. Okay. Secrets! Oh, money. Hello, sirs. What is going on here? A Viking that can't sail? What can I do but drink? I don't know, probably lots of things. We're the Vikings, lords of the sea. Well, actually, we have a problem. After the quake, the sea dragon went berserk and destroyed our ships. Only the Enterprise was spared, but everyone's afraid to set sail. The building on the cape is the Nepto Shrine. The old man should know a lot about it. Even the boss doesn't know what to do. We're no match for the sea dragon. Oh, maybe we should go grind. Yes, if we go grind, we'll be able to defeat the sea dragon. This guy sells us magic. We don't really need any of those. That's just in case we need more spells. But let's heal up. Let's get our hit points and magic points back and delve deeper into the Viking cave. Complete with secrets. Hello. I'm not hiding. I'm just waiting for the old man to come up. Let us go see this old man. I'm the very oldest of the Vikings. The Nepto Shrine is where the dragon Nepto used to sleep. But something happened since the earthquake and the dragon went mad. Oh, we better go investigate that. Money. Money. So we've learned of a dragon from a shrine who has gone berserk, and he is keeping the Vikings from being able to set out to sea. And since we're here, we might as well do something about that, because we are heroes, and that is what heroes do. Heroes also steal treasures, because we need all the best stuff to be able to succeed in helping people. It is noble theft, you see. Bolt 2, fire 2, ice 2. Let's spread that between our black wizards. You can have bolt, you can have ice, you can have fire. Alright, we have some level 3 magic. Now we have a bit more damage we can dish out. But Gatai has fewer magic points because he didn't get that level up that everybody else did. But that's okay, we will manage. Hello? That there's the boss. Let me speak to the boss. It's hopeless. We'll never beat the Sea Dragon. What a leader. If you get rid of the Sea Dragon for us, you can have the Enterprise. How's that sound? Okay. I will do this for you. You shouldn't be sailing. If you go past the cape, the Sea Dragon will attack. That has to be the Sea Dragon Nepto enshrined at the Nepto Shrine. Yes, we have heard of that. Let's fire a cannonball real quick. I don't think that does anything. And then talk to this guy who just got in my way. The Enterprise is intact, but no one dares to set sail. You'd just be killed by the Sea Dragon. We'll see about that. Move. It's crazy, blah, blah, blah. He's still saying the same stuff. Okay, so if we solve the Sea Dragon problem, we were told we will receive the Enterprise. And we know that it's likely somehow related to this shrine. So let's do this. Hello, sirs. You guys are not particularly threatening. So let's just get rid of you. No, don't run. Why does that keep happening? Magic. Ice. No! Ah! See, and I fail run. Fortunately, these guys suck. Burning staff. Whoosh! These guys look intimidating, but they're just beginning of the game enemies. They're nothing to worry about. Ice! Fire! Great. Fight! I don't want to waste any more magic points on these guys, so I'm just gonna have everybody else fight. While Azure tries to take them out with his staff. Burning staff! Ignite these foolish men who dare try to stomp on us! I really like that death effect as it sweeps over the screen when there's a lot of enemies present. Skill up! Okay, so here we are, the Nepto Shrine. Let us see if we can step in here and find out why the dragon has gone berserk. Nepto Shrine. Hello? Alright, we're all tiny. Let's go! Entered the hole where the dragon's eye used to be. Yeah, if you approach that wall, you're not small, then they just remark about the hole, and they're like, if we were small, we could fit in there. And we can't change size because this tunnel is just too tiny again. So let us venture into this shrine. It's weird how this shrine was built in a way that people can't actually fit through it. Fire! Let us defeat these puties. Whatever the hell a puty is, fire, ice. This is just my solution for all this stuff. Fire, ice, fire. Just wreck them with group level 1 magic. This game has a lot of stuff like this, which where it's like, oh, you have to change your jobs to accomplish certain things or overcome certain obstacles because of certain conditions or circumstances around those obstacles. And I like that, but also don't like that. It really just depends. In this situation, I like it because you have some freedom as far as how you want to approach it. Do you want to go all-out offense like I did with Black Wizards? Do you want a bit more defense with White Wizards? Do you want more balance with Red Wizards? You have options as far as how to approach this, but some of the later examples of the game doing this sort of thing are really dumb and not executed very well. Where they basically are like, you have to use this one specific job or you die. And that's all there is to it. And in those situations, it's kind of dumb. But it's one of the things that I both like but don't like about this game, because on one hand, it would be nice to be able to just use whatever jobs you want and go through the game by your own volition, or on your own terms, rather. Oh, these guys are hitting for a lot of damage. But at the same time, I also kind of like how it forces you to play with a bit more variety, because otherwise, I feel like you would just be using the same jobs throughout the entire game. There wouldn't be any variety. You would be solving all of your problems with the exact same solutions. and overall the game would feel more tedious. I feel like these kinds of dungeons and areas that force you to use certain types of jobs and perhaps step outside your comfort zone, they make it so you're not just doing the same thing every battle throughout every dungeon. They force you to approach things in different ways, which in turn adds variety by making the game overall less tedious, by extension of forcing you to play differently, forcing you to... and I know some people would groan at the idea of the game forcing you to do certain things, and I can understand that, but I appreciate how this game does that, especially with how simplistic the jobs are. Most of the jobs in this game are not very elaborate with what they can do. It's like, it's either a magic user job or a fighting job. And there are some jobs that are a little bit more elaborate, but for the most part, it's very straightforward like that. So I like how they have stuff like this to compensate for that, to add more variety to the game. Because otherwise the game would be a lot more tedious, I believe. You wouldn't really be needing to mix things up, and you would be confronting every challenge and solving every battle you're put into the exact same way. You wouldn't really ever be needing to think outside the box or mix things up as you go. So this just adds more variety to the gameplay. The only real problem with it is on repeat playthroughs, it can be a little annoying, especially if you already know what's coming up. And again, with some encounters, that's a problem. Especially there are certain bosses where it's like you have to use this one job or you die. But then there are other ones where there's a specific condition that you have to meet, or that it's advised that you meet, otherwise you'll struggle. And in those situations where there's a bit more you can do to mix things up, I don't know, it's weird. That's how I feel about it. I like how the game has these moments where you have to do things differently, and yet you still usually have enough freedom that while you're not using the main jobs you normally would, there's enough freedom that you, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say something while also thinking about how I want to approach this battle. There's enough freedom in most of the situations where you still have the choice of whether or not you want to play by the game's rules, or whether or how you want to approach it. Like in this situation, again, yes, I need to use mages to be efficient here, but I could choose which arrangement of mages I want to use. Or another dungeon where, say, you might have enemies with a very particular type of resistance to specific types of attacks. So you kind of have to decide, how do you want to approach these enemies? How much do you want to commit to one particular thing? Or how much do you want to try to handle it in a different way? A way that may be more efficient, may be less efficient, but still keeping the freedom of choosing how you want to orchestrate your party and still being feasible to progress. As we make it to the end of this, where we have this rat. Hello, Mr. Rat. Squeak! I won't give this gem to anyone, Squeak! And we have a boss fight against just a rat. A literal rat. We have a boss fight. Bolt 2! But this is what we have our high-level magic for. Arrow! Ice 2! And I would like to blind or poison it, but I feel like all bosses in this game are just straight up immune to status effects. Oh, it tries to bite Azure, but he swiftly dodges. And then all of us just circle around the rat, conjuring our spells and just bombarding it from all directions simultaneously as it twirls around, snapping at us and squeaking viciously and desperately, trying to comprehend what the hell is happening as all these tiny little morsels of men start bombarding it, assaulting it with these crazy arcane powers that are probably beyond its mind's comprehension. But Gatai only has MP to do that once. Bolt, so now he has to fall back on Bolt 1. Oh no, the rat also knows magic for some reason. Is it a weird magical rat, or was that power granted to it by the gem that it has? Whatever the case, hopefully it dies before Gatai dies and falls even further behind in experience points. I would much rather anybody else die right now if anybody has to die. Oh, 7 capacity. That's very generous of the game, giving us lots of capacity to switch back to our standard jaws once we are done with this place. Let's do one more cure just because if we fight any beauties. Obtained Nepto's Eye. We could take a lot of magic damage. Aren't we supposed to put Nepto's Eye back in the dragon statue? Let's return it. Yes, and now we leave. This dungeon's short. Most of the early game dungeons are really short, but then some of the late game dungeons take literal hours to get through. Let's just do a bolt focused on that guy because the pewdie's dangerous. And then have these guys do ice. The worms aren't so bad. They just try to bite or stomp us, but they miss most of the time because we're in the back row. The pewdie is the dangerous one because it uses magic. And rows don't protect you from magic. Likewise, magic isn't affected by what row you're in, which is why we're all in the back row. Ice! So yeah, we've already seen this dungeon. There's nothing else that's really gonna happen, most likely. Terrible things will probably not happen. So let's just focus on getting out of here and returning Nepto's Eye to the statue. Gatai just keeps having all these close calls. Skill up, yay. Alright, we made it out. And now we can finally return to normal size. Hacha! Oh, we're so close to leveling too. Let's see. Yeah, see, Daryl can now switch back to Monk without spending anything because he's a high enough skill level with the Monk to do that. So let's just do that right away now that we're done with this. Switch back to Monk! And then get all your stuff re-equipped. Your Tonfa. Well, is that still worth it? Attack 40. Tonfa. Nunchuck. Kinda. Okay. Put you back in the front row. How much does it cost to get everybody else back? You need 8 to go back to Fighter. You would need 16 to become a monk. It's so much. You can become a monk for 7, and then you would need so much to get back is the problem. So let's get you back to where you belong. We also got a new sword while we were in there, and a bunch of new gear for you. Serpent sword and mithril sword. Attack 52. We're getting strong carapace armor. And the mithril glove. We're running out of space though, but that'll be fine soon. And now, yeah, that would cost all my capacity, and then I would be stuck as that because that costs 16 to go back to White Mage from a monk. And you're only skill level 8, so you would only, so that would still cost more than 0. But you can go to monk and then back to wizard. And we're right at the cusp of another level up. So let's do that. Let me think. Yeah, I don't think there's any other stuff coming up anytime soon where we really need to worry about becoming very specific jobs. So let's do that just to just for the time being, until he gets that level up. And Azure just has to stick as a red wizard, slowly lagging behind. That should improve over time though, hopefully. He'll probably consistently be my lowest hit points throughout the game, but he'll get opportunities to become other jobs to get hit points. It's just this early on, you don't have very many capacity points. You must return the eye to the thing. Use the eye. Put Nepto's eye in the socket. I am the sea dragon Nepto. Thank you for returning the gem to me. This gem is my mind. Without it, I am merely an animal, and I begin to go wild. Here, take this, the Water Fang. It will smash what blocks your way with the power of water. Receive the Water Fang. We have no context for what that is other than it'll smash the thing. Okay, the water has lost its light. Someone has caused an earthquake and sealed the light underground. Please, bring back the light. The sea dragon Nepto fell into a deep sleep. Okay. Dash? Yeah, we got a ship. Now we can search for beautiful women all over the world. Hey, I'm kidding. If I remember right, the king of Argus knows the secret of airships. I heard it in Canaan. I've heard a tribe of bald old men who can't see live in some valley. They're called the Gurgans. I've even heard that they can tell the future. Can it be true? Alright, so now we have a ship, so we should be able to get to Argus. And also we learned of a couple other things thanks to Desh telling us about the Gurgans. And also what we already knew about Argus, about King Argus. But yeah, Azure will start getting more hit points later on. It's just this early on, you don't really have the capacity to be constantly switching jobs. Later in the game, it becomes much more manageable because, one, levels are taking a lot longer. You've got guts, thanks. Oh my god, you guys are so great. Oh my god, awesome, you guys are real heroes. As I promised, the Enterprise is yours. But yeah, as we get further, you start getting more capacity, and on top of that, it just starts taking longer to gain levels. So further into the game, it becomes a lot more reasonable to frequently be switching your jobs when you need to get more hit points. Thank you, youngsters. The sea dragon Nepto has finally calmed down. Not only that, but it also starts to be more significant as your vitality starts getting higher, so the rewards you're reaping become more significant, and the disparity between low level and high level, or low vitality and high vitality jobs becomes greater. Nobody's really saying anything important. He can sleep peacefully now. Still not gonna do anything, just sleep. So as we get further, there will be more opportunities for that, but at present, it just costs him too much to swap between those jobs. Maybe even once his White Wizard job level gets high enough that he can switch to Monk, yes, spend 16 capacity, but then switch back to White Mage for free, or only for a couple capacity. Then it would also just become more reasonable to make that leap back and forth. But we have sort of objectives. We need to go to Argus. We need to meet with King Argus to learn about airships, and we also learned from Desh about blind, bald people who can see the future. And now that we have an airship, the ocean is our oyster as we explore to try and find these things and discover our next destination.